Welcome to another stage analysis video. It's Sunday the 28th of April 2024. Going to start off today's video with a look at the watchlist stocks, but just a quick note before we get to that. Just wanted to say for the website members, if you've been continuing to add and expand the stocks on the site, so if you scroll down in the right hand column at the moment, I've added in the Russell 2000 stocks now. So you click on that, you come through to the Russell 2000 index page. You can see all of those listed. 1961 stocks have loaded up there, so you can obviously order those by change. You can see what they are by their current SARTA scores, by their groups, etc. Got a little band at the top that shows which are weak, neutral and strong. These are also available if you go into the US stocks full list. So with the US stocks full list, what I'm going to be doing with this is actually turning this page into the new stage analysis screener. So this has all of the stocks listed on the site. So at the moment we've got 2,861. Going to be pushing that up to about 5,000 in the coming weeks as we add the rest of the Nasdaq Composite and NYSE stocks. And what I'm going to be doing is adding a screener function at the top up here. So we'll, like you see on FinViz, we'll have a bunch of filters at the top here and some custom options based on the stage analysis, technical attributes, mental relative strength, etc. And you'll be able to scan based on those, some tabs to take you through. I'll start creating, bringing in some mini charts, etc. so that we can make this page into a much more useful screener function as well before you actually drop through into the individual pages. So I'll be adding that. You can see from at the moment, this week's changes with the Russell 2000 ones coming in. We've got the stocks like Matterport here had a big jump, for example. You can see this one's actually a buyout candidate at 5.5, I believe. So it had a huge jump from a 0 to a 10. So it's only got about 15-16% to go until it gets to where it's being the option to buy it out. I think CSGP is potentially buying it out. I think we've got that one as well. So this one is potentially buying that out. So if we go back into there, you can see where it is it moved up to the top of its application software group at the moment. And now with the Russell 2000 stocks going in, you can see these groups have got significantly bigger. So just a quick heads up on those, so you can see what's going on there. Let's get back into the US watchlist stocks now. So starting off today with some from the software group. There's been a few. This week was a strong week for some of the tech stocks that have been underperforming for the last few months now. So we've seen those in the Sub-industries Bell Curve particularly dropping down into the lower third. They've been in the weak zone, i.e. the percentage of stocks that are on a strong stage analysis technical attribute score has been, the majority of them have been on a 6 or below a 6. So we've now seen a few bits of strength in that group, starting to see some moving back up again, some making new attempts to break out of recent ranges. TOST has got earnings coming up in a week or so on the 7th here, so you can see it's a recent stage 2 breakout. If we go to a weekly chart of this one quickly, you can see it's had a big range here, so back from the original pivot round through there. So it broke out into stage 2 on this week back here in early February. I think it was February the 16th maybe, and has since it had a few failed breakout attempts. You can see actually 3 failed breakout attempts through 2022 and into 2023 before shaking out. Massive terminal shakeout move down here and a test, then following through into a new stage 2. So currently at what we call the stage 2 backup entry zone at the moment. So looking for this to continue to push its way out into stage 2 in earnest, but still some overhead resistance to deal with from these previous failed breakout attempts. If we go back to the daily chart here, you can see just above the 50-day moving average at the moment. Of course, if it starts to flip back below that 50-day moving average, then that would kill the potential move here and potentially would start to see that rolling over there. But we're looking for this one to pop its way out and start to make a new attempt to push out with a new continuation breakout. So we'll see how that one develops in the coming week. You can see relative strength still sitting above the Mansfield zero line at the moment, so been going sideways as it's consolidated, but it's held above the Mansfield relative strength zero line, which is the 52-week moving average, or 252 day on a daily chart, as there's 252 trading days in a year, i.e. 52 weeks. So You can use whatever you like for those figures. If you want to get short-term moving averages, you can use the 50-day, etc., to get quicker moves. But if you want to see what it is versus the weekly, then you need to use the 252 option on the daily chart. But if you go back to the weekly, you'll see then they're in a fairly similar position, but obviously not perfect, but it's as close as you're going to get with that. So if we come back to this daily chart here, so looking for this to start to push its way back out again and make a move with a stage 2 continuation. So in what we call the backup zone at the moment, which is around the secondary entry point for the stage analysis method. So as it starts to move up through this area, where am I next? Abercrombie & Fitch, one of the best performers of the last year. So at the moment we've got a minor structure developing, but first, what we always do with stage analysis stocks is you want to look and see where it is in its stage. So if we draw back through here, you can see early breakout attempt with a still declining 30-week moving average at this point. So while this was a stage 2 breakout, it broke the rules in terms of we wouldn't want to buy it at this point because it's still got a declining 30-week moving average. So the backup come back underneath that level, then started to move back up again in earnest. So this was more the area of interest as the 30-week moving average is turning up at that point. Did roll over and came back in quite extremely all the way back down to the stage 2 breakout level again. A little bit of a shake at that, and then before surging back again on earnings. I believe that was back in May 2023 when the rest of the market started to push out. There was a huge move in May 2023 in a lot of stocks. So this has been one of the smoothest stage 2 moves in any stock in the last year. So you can see barely any moves back below the 10-week moving average until recently. So we got a few moves back towards it, but not even a touch. So extremely strong move and consistent. Majority of stocks will come back below that 10-week moving average many times before on their pullbacks, whereas this one has held above. So the change of character coming at this point recently here. So you can see small change of behaviour, and then we got the change of character as it started to drop below that 10-week moving average, but now forming a base structure at the moment. So again, on the daily chart here, you can see the base structure, but you might want to zoom in a little bit further. So we take it further down to a 195 minute, which is half a day chart. So you can see we can draw that structure again. So from the buying climax, the automatic reaction, we draw our base structure across. So you've got your buying climax, automatic reaction, secondary test, so phase A into phase B, and now we had a shakeout move and a potential higher low test here. So potentially with the break back up through this area, there's a chance it's attempting to spring. Shakeout and the test is another word for the spring, but with a spring, what you want to see is some strong volume coming in as it moves up, and at the moment we haven't seen that. So there is a chance that this could still be a false move here and roll back over, because this was quite a weak move to the lower end here. When you get a move down just to the edge of the base and it springs back up, they're generally stronger, but this was a strong shakeout. So if we do get some volume coming back in through here, we'd be looking for a spring type move which takes it back up and out above the base, potentially starts to build and push it out. But as I said, if we start to see the opposite of that, if it quickly rolls back into here, then that would be a get out of the way again. So at the moment in position, the 1 ATR level and the 50-day moving average just above at the moment, so need to clear this level here, ideally get through this sort of 125 area at the moment on getting on a little bit more increasing volume. So be keeping an eye on that one. MongoDB, another spring attempt. So as you can see, a stronger spring attempt, only a slight touch below the bottom of the structure here, and higher low test. So moving back out, so could be moving into phase D of the structure, but sitting right at the moving averages here at the 200-day and the 50-day, which are converging at the moment. So looking for this to follow through. Again, if it fails here, sorry, just let's pause it. Randomly, some fireworks started going off in the background, but they seem to have gone now. So, as I was saying, we're converging currently at the 200-day and the 50-day moving average. You can see this broader structure that's been developing now since back in June last year. So it's almost a year-long sideways structure here. We had a major UTAD, so up thrust after distribution, and a test, and it came back down again, come all the way back down to the bottom, but it's attempting to spring. So this could be a last point of support. It could roll over here and start to push down. We could have a major stage 4 breakdown attempt to the downside. But if it doesn't fail here and we see some strength coming through, then potentially be looking for this to push back up and maybe potentially make a new stage 2 move to the upside again. But as we can see, this broader, if you take the broader structure across through here, it's been going sideways for a long time now, since earnings back here when that initial range was developed. So it still hasn't dropped below this move here. It's been holding and going sideways. So a big raised base structure at the moment, so could still go either way at this point. Right in a very neutral place currently. Sorry, I keep having to stop for the fireworks. They keep going off now. I'm not really sure why, but I thought Chinese New Year was a month ago, but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but not normally hear fireworks at this time of year. But anyway, so back to this. So if it does start to push back above the 30-week and the 10-week moving average here, 200-day and 50-day as well, then potentially we'd be looking for a new attempt to move back out into stage 2 again. But at the moment, still sitting in a broader base structure at the moment, right on the borderline, potentially failed stage 4 breakdown attempt here with the reversal this week. So spring attempt at the moment in MongoDB. PLTR, also another interesting one. So it's got earnings coming up on the 6th of May here. So as you can see, another one that had a big similar base structure, but did on earnings manage to make a new stage 2 continuation attempt. So, but at the moment hasn't made much progress in the last few months and has been going sideways since, after a quick move higher, which then fizzled out and has gone sideways since. So it's still within this previous earnings move at the moment where this heavy volume came in. So you see the heavy volume bars through this area here. So all of these are quite heavy volume, so hence this is our range at the moment of interest. So if you look at it from a shorter term perspective there, you can see it's undercut and is attempting to, so big shakeout, high low test, and is attempting to recover its way back into the upper half of the range here, around its 21-day moving average at the moment. Still needs to recover that 50-day moving average, but earnings will decide what goes on with this one in a few days now. So looking for a heavy volume move, ideally back above that 50-day. Again, if it falters here and starts to come back the other way low, then the bottom of the range is a potential place to be getting out of the way here. If we look at it on a weekly, you can see potentially could be forming early stage 3. The pullback is quite strong. It's around its 30-week moving average here, so it's right on the borderline of potentially breaking down into stage 3 at this point. So we will see how this develops following earnings.